Hi, everybody, and welcome into the PHNX Suns Podcast. I'm Lindsay. That's Saul. That's Gerald. That's Espo. And yes, before you ask, we are live today. Sorry for everyone we disappointed yesterday, but we had some things to do.
Yeah, so calm down, Chris. We're here.
Yes, I promise. We're here. We missed you just as much as you guys missed us, but we're so glad that you watched the show anyway, except for you, Hello, who dipped out. Rude. And just know, we took notes.
Is Hello even here anymore?
They were here yesterday.
Yeah, and then they saw it wasn't live and they bounced. So.
Yeah,
okay.
So you're on the list. Just so you know, you're on the list.
Chelsea's list.
Did you guys have fun yesterday?
I had a blast.
I had a good time.
That was a good way to celebrate 2 years of whatever the hell this is we're doing.
Exactly. So that's the reason why we weren't here with you guys. We were having a team outing to celebrate our 2-year anniversary.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys can forgive us.
We got to watch a movie during work. What did you get to do?
It was pretty cool.
They watched us during work. That's what they did.
That's also pretty cool. So it's good for you guys. Really good. Okay. Let's dive into today's discussion. We are going to continue our conversation around contenders across the NBA that might be in the Suns' way to winning a championship. Today, we are going to be discussing the Boston Celtics. We'll take a look at some of their notable acquisitions and some of their notable losses. Emma, if you want to put that graphic on the screen. Their key addition, Kristaps Porzingis, of course. Then you've got key losses, Danilo Gallinari, Blake Griffin, Marcus Smart, Grant Williams. How big of a loss do you think some of these guys are, specifically Marcus Smart and Grant Williams?
I mean, listen, Marcus Smart and Grant Williams provided quite a bit to the Celtics the last couple of years. Grant Williams really came on strong last year. I think he had his best season as a Celtic last year. And in the playoffs, he had some really good games. Marcus Smart has always been kind of the heart and soul defensively for that team. I really do wonder how that's all going to transpire now that, you brought in Kristaps and you lost two really core pieces of your franchise moving forward. So I think there's a lot of question marks for the Celtics. Can they be as dominant as they have shown glimpses of, or will they be the more inconsistent part of that where, their lows have been kind of low, their highs have been very high. At one point last year when they housed us here in Phoenix, they were easily the best team in the league. And then they kind of went through it a little bit. They got to the playoffs and then they got upset by the Heat. And so I don't know. I don't know what to think of the Celtics, to be honest with you.
I feel like they were the number 2 defense in the league last year. They were elite on that end. They were also the number 2 offense in the league. So they were good on both sides of the floor. And it feels like with this move that they made to bring Porzingis in, they're trading a lot of that defensive versatility and toughness for offensive firepower. And you could see it in the playoffs. They could have used an option, a third option like a Porzingis or just a big who was more of a threat. But I don't know if they got better with this deal. I think they have a little bit more firepower now because Porzingis is a good pick and pop threat. He was really good in post-up situations last year, so it's nice to have another offensive hub. But, we're talking about Smart, who was a defensive player of the year 2 years ago, one of the most versatile players on that end, and Grant Williams, who was kind of like a Swiss Army knife type guy for them on both ends of the floor. I don't know if they got better, especially because Malcolm Brogdon had an injury that he was dealing with over the summer. They're going to need guys to step up for sure.
this smacks of a team that's been together and didn't get over the hump, and they have to just make some kind of move to say, we made a move to try to get in back into the finals and winning a championship this time. And I think losing Marcus Smart will hurt them, but I also think their attempt to trade Malcolm Brogdon as part of that 3-team deal is going to backfire on him too, because he's not happy still. There's a report that came out 2 days ago that he's upset with the organization, that talks haven't, communication between the two haven't been great exactly. So now you've dealt a guy that many viewed as your heart and soul, one of your primary point guards, and the guy you were expecting to fill that role is now subsequently pissed off because you almost dealt him in a similar deal. So that to me is a situation to monitor in Boston. Is how does that play out? Does Brogdon come in healthy and put all that aside, or is this something that lingers? Because as we know, locker room issues can fester and cause problems for a team that has championship hopes. And I wonder how that'll be, especially without one of your key locker room guys in Marcus Smart not being there anymore. So
yeah, I mean, those are all fair questions. It's interesting though, because there are still a lot of questions around the Celtics, like what you brought up, Espo, and also when you look at Kristaps Porzingis and just how exactly does that fit, right? That's been the question mark all summer, is what does that look like on this Boston Celtics team? But despite all of that, they're still looked at as one of the top few teams in the league right now.
But this is going to be Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown's kind of ultimate moment, because they are going to have to take that leadership position, and it's got to be obvious. Because if this thing runs off the rails, those are the two guys they're going to point to say you guys lost control. Because superstars, especially strong superstars in the league, don't let that kind of shit happen. And the DNA that you've kind of split up by losing Marcus Smart and Grant Williams and replacing him with Kristaps Porzingis. Listen, Kristaps Porzingis is not a dominant personality. You know what I mean? Like he's a good player, very good player. But even he has shown some inconsistencies from time to time. That's the reason why he's moved several different spots, is because the level of expectation you have for a guy that can shoot from the perimeter, that's 7 feet tall, can play down low, is very, very high. And he, because of the inconsistency, has not met that expectation enough for a team to say he's untradeable. And so he keeps getting moved. And I want to know, is he finally going to reach that moment? Everybody keeps talking about Bol. Like we talked to Adam Mares the other day, and they said, he was saying that, a scouting league said typically once you hit your third team, that's the team that you're probably going to get the most out of. And so in reference to Bol, I wonder if Kristaps, I think this is his fourth team, isn't it? It's his fourth team. Yeah. So never mind. He had a good season last year, though.
He didn't have a good season
last year.
He did. Year 3, he had a very good season. So. Or not year 3,
a change
team
of
3.
scenery can be exactly what was needed in order to get you to that next level. But when you look at Kristaps too, and this, not like putting the blame on him, team game, of course, he's only had 10 games in the playoffs throughout his career. So it's not like he's even a proven playoff guy. You know what I mean? So there's question marks there too.
Can we talk about the dinosaur in the room though? Al Horford, who's a year younger than me, is their starting center. At some point, Al Horford's got to fall off the cliff, right? Like the guy has been in the league forever, and to have him making $27 million as the starting center on a team that feels like they're at least one of two serious contenders in the East, at some point I feel like that's got to give too.
I vehemently disagree with you on that, because
he's 38.
Because Al Horford, if you look at Al Horford from day one to right now, the body movement is relatively the same. It's relatively the same. He wasn't the most athletic guy coming out of college. He plays pretty low to the ground. He's always had that kind of old man strength. So nothing has really changed in all these years of Al Horford. He is one of the most intelligent basketball players that has ever played the game, because he knows how to use his body. He knows how to use leverage. He's smart. He understands how to move in the system. Like, he has maximized his potential to the nth degree. I thought the same thing. At some point, he's going to tail off. I don't think his tail off is going to be as significant as other players. So I think honestly, I would love to have Al Horford on the Suns.
You just described Chris Paul, though, too. Never an overly athletic guy. All these things, and he fell off the cliff.
Remind me again, how many games has Al Horford missed in the playoffs?
I'm just saying, at some point, Father Time wins. And at 38, it would not shock me if this is the time that Father Time defeats Al Horford.
I mean, we saw signs of him not being able to be as efficient in the playoffs. It could just be a bad playoff run, but like you said, he just turned 37 in June. He averaged just under 7 points a game, 7 rebounds, shot 39% overall and 30% from three. So it really wasn't great for him on that end. Defensively is where they need him, but you kind of need contributions on both ends of the floor. If he's in a starting role, you're probably in trouble. If he's a guy that you're bringing off the bench, you would like to have a vet of that caliber at that point. But he did start all 20 games in the playoffs for them. So I don't know.
How many games?
20. Oh, okay. So I don't know. Like bringing Porzingis into the picture, does that change whether he's a starter or not? I don't know. But they did get older. I think for Tatum and Brown, that's a good thing. And for some of these other guys, not really so much.
I love the fact I was looking at the Celtics starting lineup, and they already have Kristaps Porzingis listed as day-to-day.
Well, yeah, he did have what did he have? He had some serious injury already that he had to get addressed in the offseason. I forgot what it was.
I love that Gerald takes it all serious. I'm just laughing because we were talking about he's injury prone and just the one guy listed as day-to-day.
But Laking Ball in the chat mentions that they may not go with Horford. And this has been something that a lot of Celtics people have discussed over the offseason as well as, will they give Robert Williams a little bit more of a look, health aside, obviously, all things considered with that situation. But do they kind of mix it up a little bit and maybe have him start a little bit more instead of Al Horford so that you can preserve him a little bit because of how old he is.
And that's what Laking Ball in the chat is saying. That's the lineup that they'll probably go for. Listen, if you have Al Horford coming off your bench, you're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And Robert Williams is a really good defensive player, outstanding, but he can never stay healthy. He's had knee problems. He's had issues left and right, it feels like. And so I don't know what to expect from the Celtics. I feel like there's a lot more variable with the Celtics right now than in years past. In years past, you were waiting for this young team to kind of mature and get to reach those championship aspirations. They came close against the Warriors, and then last year they kind of took a step back because of inconsistency. Again, they had phenomenal games against the 76ers, then they had terrible games against the 76ers. They managed to get past that. Then they had really good games against the Heat, and you thought, oh man, there's no way that they can lose this series. And then they had horrible games against the Heat, and then they lost the series. So, I think the inconsistency and then trading for a guy who's also been inconsistent at times of his career, I don't know how that's all going to work.
Yeah.
And looking at it from Suns Celtics, if we're extrapolating this is a team that could be in their way, I would take Beal, Durant, and Booker over Tatum, Brown, and Porzingis any day if we're just looking at pure talent. I think the Suns 3 are superior to the Celtics 3 in that way.
I think so too. I think the fit is a little easier with Boston because you're dealing with 2 perimeter guys and 1 big man as opposed to 3 perimeter guys. But I do think I think we're all in agreement that those 3 on the Suns are going to figure it out because all 3 of them can play on or off the ball. They can make plays with the ball in their hand individually, create for others. They can be threats off the ball to space the floor. I do think they'll figure it out, but I think the fit from the start with the Celtics might be a little more seamless just because of the sheer fact one of them's a pick and pop big, and that's always pretty easy to fit along with.
The one thing that you can say about both teams, the Celtics and the Suns, is that I think a lot of people are really looking forward to seeing how it all plays out with the new acquisitions on each team. And I am in that group of people as well, because it's something that we've been discussing across the NBA all offseason. If there's 2 teams that I feel like have been talked about a lot on how they're going to put it all together with their new pieces, it's the Boston Celtics and the Phoenix Suns.
I don't think Joe Mazzulla has peaked there. Jan Paul Edwards de Dios. That was a lot to say. I don't feel like Joe Mazzulla has peaked. I feel like he was thrust into a situation and did a very good job. He took over literally a week before the season started. to replace Ime Udoka because of, the scandal that was going on. And I thought he did a very good job. Like, he was handed the keys to a Porsche, and he had to try and maintain it. And of course, they had the unfortunate loss against the Heat for them. But I don't think he did a bad job by any stretch of the imagination. Now, if you're close to the team, you might have a different opinion, because there were times throughout the season where things kind of looked a little shaky, and some of his decisions that he was making looked a little iffy, and they didn't work out. And sometimes it just happens.
I shudder to think of the thought that like we could peak in our early 30s on our first year on the job, because I might have already peaked then.
No.
If that's the case, like,
Gerald,
damn,
Gerald,
35 and he has had one season. I don't know about peaking.
It can happen. I peaked at 30. So.
Oh no.
That's tough.
Listen, I don't know about when you peak and when you don't, but what I do know is that Fubo TV never peaks. It's consistently good forever and always. Fubo TV is legit, you guys. You can watch all your favorite college football and the NFL. All right, guys, it's now time to welcome in our guest of the day, Mark D'Amico, Celtics in-house analyst and reporter. Mark, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Season's coming in, so I can't complain, right? We're all getting geared up for what really matters here. I'm ready for the summer to be over.
Yes, I think we are all in agreement there. It's been what feels like a really long off season, and I don't know if it's just because we got spoiled last year with all the Kevin Durant drama that was going on during the off season. But yes, we are all very excited for this upcoming season. I want to get your thoughts on just kind of what your expectations are for the Celtics this year with all the moves that were made in the off season.
Yeah, I mean, I think expectations every season here in Boston are the same. It's compete for championships, be in the mix, try to bring Banner 18. And some years it's not realistic. I think last year, the year before, this year, it is realistic, right? Like, this team is built to compete. I thought what they did during the offseason really upgraded the top of their roster, and that's not saying anything negative about Marcus Smart. He brings a lot to the table, but you bring in a guy like Kristaps Porzingis, and you just up the ante in terms of talent that can take over a game during a postseason. And so I think that it's championship. I wouldn't say championship or bust, but those are definitely the expectations here in Boston, is that they're going to be in the mix. Now, every year, as you guys know, you went to the finals a couple years ago, you need a little bit of luck. You need things to roll your way. That doesn't happen every year. But if you're in the mix, you at least give yourselves a shot. And I think that's what the team thinks they did during the offseason.
Obviously, we could talk about the moves, but, Jaylen Brown obviously is going to be a huge part of this. How have you seen his development? Now he's got the big contract. He's got rewarded for that. What are the level of expectation for the Celtics in terms of not only his leadership, but also Jayson Tatum's leadership as you guys move forward? Because without Marcus Smart in the mix, that was a big, heavy leadership, chip that you guys just lost.
Yeah, I think you said it right there, right? Like, Marcus Smart was the leader. He was the longest tenured Celtic. Now, the longest tenured Celtic is the guy you just mentioned, Jaylen Brown, that blows my mind that Jaylen Brown is the longest tenured Celtic now, but that's what it is. And so with Marcus Smart not here anymore, I actually think this is part of the calculated, and I don't know this for sure, but I would imagine this is part of the calculated decision-making that was going through Brad Stevens' mind on draft night. Am I going to make this trade? Am I not? I think part of the positive is that, it's no good to lose Marcus Smart. But without him here any longer, Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown have to step into that leadership role. And they have been leaders in their own way over the past few seasons, but this just opens the door wide open for them to be the leaders of this team. So I think they both know and they both understand that those expectations are here now. We're going to hear them talk about it in the next couple of weeks on Media Day, but everyone expects them to up the ante from a leadership perspective. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be screaming at people on the court or whatever it is. That's not necessarily who Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown are. But I think that they will be speaking a little bit more than they have been, maybe behind closed doors. And maybe you do see a little bit of a nudge out there on the court where they are a little bit more vocal. But I don't expect these guys to be screaming at anyone out on the court. It's just not who they are.
Yeah.
But you asked about Jaylen Brown in particular. Like, I think that he's primed to take off even more. He's gotten better and this isn't just me saying it. This is objective information. He's gotten better every season of his career. And I think that's going to continue. At some point, you're going to plateau because you can only get so good. But I do think he'll get a little bit better. I think he's going to correct some of the turnover things. And he's not playing for a contract anymore, right? He's got the contract. That means sometimes you can relax a little bit and just be yourself. And I think that'll help him in the long run.
So, Mark, obviously the Suns and Celtics have one thing in common. They both mined the Washington Wizards for a significant piece this summer. I just want to get your thoughts on Kristaps Porzingis and how you see him fitting in with, Tatum and Brown and just the starting lineup in general.
Yeah, again, like I said, it sucks to not have Marcus Smart in Boston anymore because a lot of people refer to him as the heart and soul of the team. But you get to bring in a guy who has been an all-star, and he was an all-star before, and he had the best season of his career last year. And it was like by far. This guy led the league, or he was second in the league in shooting percentage out of the post. The Celtics have not had a post presence since that first go-around with Al Horford when he was a little bit younger. They just haven't had that element on the offense in a good 4 years or so. So you add that element. Then you've got a guy who can run pick and roll. Now, this is what I'm imagining, is that Kristaps Porzingis now can go run a pick and roll with Jayson Tatum, and then you've got a guy like Jaylen Brown who's on the opposite wing being able to catch it and take it off the dribble. That's what you guys are probably thinking, right? When you put your team together, and you've got Beal coming in, a guy who can make plays off the dribble. Durant can already do that. The options are endless when you can bounce around with different positions and you mix Ayton in there. It just makes the options much more. It's a longer list that Joe Mazzulla can now call on when he's calling plays in the fourth quarter. And listen, I don't think the Celtics would beat around the bush. They've had some struggles in the fourth quarter over the last couple of years, including during the playoffs. And I think this is going to help them to be able to mix it up a little bit more offensively, adding a guy who can score both in the post and on the perimeter. And he's a huge threat going to the rim.
It's pretty obvious that the Celtics got better offensively, but are you concerned defensively when you look at Marcus Smart, Grant Williams now gone? Has the identity of this team shifted to more of an offensive team?
I don't think that's the case. I mean, when Joe Mazzulla took over, he definitely brought in more of an offensive mindset while still prioritizing the defense, but he wanted to shake up the offense. And so last year, I think some people might say they were more of an offensive team, but they were still top 5 in offense and defense when all was said and done. I'm not concerned about the defense heading into the season, and here's why. The Celtics have only had, really, Robert Williams, great shot blocker, great rim protector, and Al Horford is certainly a good rim protector in his own right. But they've been so reliant on perimeter defensive ability in this all-switch defense that they've been running for the last handful of years that if someone does get beat off the dribble, you're playing against a team like the Suns who've got multiple guys who can do that, you might be in trouble. So you flip Marcus Smart, a perimeter defender, into an interior rim protecting big man who's 7'2" and averaged almost 2 blocks per game for his entire career in Kristaps Porzingis. And I think you give a little to get a little, right? And it's gonna shift the defensive identity a little bit, where the Celtics are just not going to have to be as reliant on the perimeter defense, and they're going to have a back line that can help more. So I don't know what Joe Mazzulla is going to integrate with this defense, but I would imagine they're going to switch a little bit less and have those guys like Robert Williams and Kristaps Porzingis hanging in the back a little bit more to be able to protect the rim and force teams to shoot from the perimeter. Again, I don't know that that's going to happen, but if I were the coach, which I'm not, I'm only talking on a podcast right now, but that's probably what I would do. I would give these guys a little bit more opportunity to gamble a little bit, knowing that you've got some shot blockers, multiple shot blockers behind you.
Mark, in your opinion, what is the Celtics' biggest strength, and then what is their biggest weakness this upcoming season?
I mean, from a strength perspective, it's got to be overall talent. I mean, you've got multiple All-NBA guys leading the charge, and then you add in other All-Stars. You've got great shooting. Derek White was an all-defensive player. So the talent level is certainly there. Experience is another strength. Now, the Celtics have not gotten over the hump but they've got a lot of experience. These guys have been to 3, 4, 5 conference finals, gone to an NBA finals. They've got the experience there. So I think those are the two strengths. As far as a weakness, I don't know if I would categorize anything as a weakness with this team. They're going to be really good on both sides of the ball, just like they were last year. So I don't know if I would call it a weakness, but I think the one area of growth for them is really just figuring it out, right? Like this team has not been able to figure it out when it mattered the most in the last 2 seasons. You go up 2-1 in the finals over the Golden State Warriors, you lose 3 in a row, season over. You go into the conference finals last year against a team that you absolutely should have beat from a talent perspective, you fall behind 3-0 to the Miami Heat. So it's really just putting it all together and figuring it out when it matters the most. We don't know if it's going to happen. We hope it's going to happen here in Boston, but that's the area of growth that I see that they need to take the step in. They got to figure it out.
I have another question, but it's not basketball related unless you guys have one.
No,
I mean,
no.
the only other basketball question is just like, listen, a lot of people are already speculating that it might be a Celtics Suns finals this year. If that were the case, and I know that you're a Celtics guy and we're Suns people, but how do you see that kind of playing out?
So here's how I always look at an NBA finals, right? You've got years where one team is just dramatically better than the other, right? Like it happens from time to time. You know the other team's not going to win. One that comes to my mind was when Miami played Oklahoma, that young Oklahoma City team that was up and coming. You knew who was going to win that series, right, going in. If this happens this year with Phoenix, with multiple Hall of Famers on the roster, playing against the Celtics with multiple likely Hall of Famers on the roster, to me, coin flip. Like, give me a coin, I'll flip it in the air. That's how you're going to decide until they get on the court. Like, I don't think anyone can really predict accurately what's going to happen just because both teams are so loaded going into the season. So I would love to see it. I don't like seeing those NBA finals where one team is way better than the other. I like seeing two great teams that fought their way into the finals get there and then match up. So I hope that that's what happens. And from there, we just flip the coin and sit back, eat the popcorn, have a couple beers, and see what happens.
I mean, it'll definitely be fun. That's for sure.
That would be pretty awesome. Ironically enough, I was going to say F Boston to end this because I was going to ask you about Winning Time. Have you watched Winning Time, and how did you feel? How does the vibe in the Celtics building after each episode come across? Because 2 of those 7 episodes ended with an F Boston. I thought that was pretty crazy.
Hey, it can end with F Boston, but it also ended with the Celtics winning the championship. Right? So I think if they cut it there, which it sounds like they did, I think everyone in Boston is good and happy, and everything that happened before that doesn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, Celtics, Lakers, I mean, we're not allowed to wear purple or gold in this office. I can tell you that right now, right? It's just not allowed. So we're wearing green, we're wearing black, we're wearing white. And yeah, if the Celtics come out on top to end the series, like, no one in Boston is going to argue with that, right?
That's why he's a pro, man. That was a great answer. Oh, yeah.
Mark, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your insight and all that you shared with us today. Thank you.
No doubt. I appreciate you guys having me on, and hopefully we get that Celtics Suns finals and we can do this again.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Best of luck to you and the Celtics, except for when you're playing the Suns this season.
All right. We'll see you guys in the season.
We'll see you next time. And everyone, be sure to give him a follow on Twitter. You can find him at Mark_D'Amico, and that is Mark with a C. I do want to remind you guys that our friends over at Saturday Neon, they've got beautiful, officially licensed collegiate logo LED neon signs. And the best thing is when you get one, you get all the bells and whistles and all the things you need to install. So it's easy to install. You get the dimmer, the power, the mounting, all those things.
That's not the best thing, Lindsay.
What's the best thing,
The
Saul?
best thing is that they make a beautiful University of Arizona sign. That's why.
Sure.
That's the best thing. And a bear down sign. You get 2 of the best things in life.
Yeah, but they also
In
have,
life?
In life.
That's aggressive. Saturday
That's
Neon,
true.
shout out to you.
You know what they don't have? Sun Devil stuff.
yeah, but you know what they do have? Neon Dion, Colorado.
They do.
Oh, well, right now, if you go to SaturdayNeon.com and use code PHNX, you're going to get 10% off your order today. Plus, you'll get free shipping for orders over $200. Also, Burrito Express, you know how much we love our friends over at Burrito Express. They are fantastic people. They make fantastic burritos, and we highly recommend you check them out. They've got multiple locations across the valley. The one that we go to the most often is, of course, the one in Tempe. And we love that they support ASU athletics and athletes. Had to make sure that we had an ASU plug there since Saul decided to go all U of A on us. But grab a burrito, check out our friends over at Burrito Express, and give them a follow while you're at it on Twitter at BurritoEXP. You like how we threw shade back and forth there?
Or just don't follow them.
Changing things around, swapping it up a little bit.
I don't care, Angel.
You know, normally...
You just threw shade at me.
I did. That was the point.
Yeah.
Normally, I feel like pre-shows are usually kind of a little chaotic and funny for us. Today, Espo threw so much shade at Saul, you guys, and it threw us all for a loop.
Are you really? Wait, hold on.
I'm not bringing it up. I'm just saying it was surprising because normally you don't throw shade at Saul.
Hold on, but
so it was one of those things where I was like, Espo,
have you been on this show ever?
True.
Pre-show.
Not
on the
true.
show, yes. Pre-show, it's usually me and Gerald being sassy with you guys.
To be fair, that came about because we were all throwing shade at Max.
Right.
And so I was just feeling spicy.
He was.
Basically, what I'm saying is, did we all wear our Shady Rays into the office when we were driving in today and it just made us feel real like sassy? Because I feel like that's what happened. You know why we wear our Shady Rays every day we drive into the office? Because of the best sunglasses you can get your hands on.
I don't like this segment
He's so mad about this segue.
I hate everything about this
Shady Rays has gear that is built to last. We're talking about the premium polarized sunglasses. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com, use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
Hey, Saul, you know what I like to wear when I'm throwing insults out? Shady Rays.
That's right. That's right. Will Captain said, ad reads chaotic today. Facts. It's because the technical difficulty threw me for a loop, so I'm just trying to keep my head above water.
Excuses.
That's right.
Rule number 76, no excuses. Play like a champion.
I just skipped that rule. I was absent that day.
Rude.
My bad. Okay, so let's put a bow on the Boston Celtics by looking at our meter and determining where we all land as far as the fear factor that the Celtics bring to the table. Are you a Boston accent, Dunkin' Donuts, Goodwill Hunting, or Larry Bird? From least worried to most worried, where do you fall?
I'm gonna go Goodwill Hunting.
Okay.
Just because I think they're a threat, and I think if we matched up with them in the finals, it would be a problem. I do. I think they match up decently well against us, especially in the areas that we might be weakest in. I think our strengths and their strengths would counterbalance each other, and so I wonder what that would look like. But they've had issues on their side of things in the playoffs in the East, and so I'm not confident that they can even make it to the finals out of the East. So that's why I went one notch below.
Yeah, the East is tough. I think the Bucks are still my favorite to come out of that conference, but it's neck and neck between those two. I would probably put them Goodwill Hunting right on the verge of Larry Bird territory, because I do think if they can figure it out with Porzingis and still be a top 10 defense, they're going to be a damn difficult team to defend. Just having Tatum and Brown alone, that's 2 really good offensive threats. Porzingis could give them a different look in terms of having another offensive hub on the perimeter or inside. So for now, I'm putting Goodwill Hunting just because I still have questions about how their defense is going to look without 2 of their most versatile defenders there this year.
To quote Goodwill Hunting, you don't know about real loss. And Boston doesn't know about real loss. And I'm going to put them in that category because if the Suns meet them, they're going to know about real loss.
What do you mean they don't know about real loss?
Someone close to you ever died, you've never
have 17
lost.
championships. Like, they don't understand what it's like to go through the pain that we've been through here in Phoenix, the angst, the crap that we've gone through, the fact that Larry O'Brien has never called Phoenix home. Well, the trophy, I don't know if the former commissioner ever did, but the trophy has it.
I feel like they've lost more finals than we have, but I get your point.
Yeah,
I get your
they have banners, though, so they don't have to worry about, okay, we lost one, but we got 17 more to look at. We lose one, you know what we got? Jack shit. All right.
This turned into such a depressing segment.
Oh my goodness
I was
gracious.
like, how much are you afraid of the Celtics? And he's like, you don't know pain.
Honestly, though, I'm not afraid of them that much because I think they will learn what loss is if they face the Suns in the finals.
Espo, it's not your fault.
It is my fault.
It's not your fault.
It's okay.
It's not your fault.
It's okay.
I also am Goodwill Hunting. I think there are still some question marks, but they're going to be good.
That was Brian in the chat. That was good. He said, it's not your fault. I was like, oh, yeah, that's from Goodwill Hunting.
Good movie, by the way.
Yeah, fantastic.
All right. Moving on from our Boston conversations. You guys, guess what? We finally got a little bit more information about the infamous "we don't double team in open gym" drama that happened forever ago.
I've been waiting.
We finally got it.
How much credit do you think you deserve for double teaming him in that practice?
We're playing to 11. The guy has like the first 9 buckets of the game. I'm like, yo, it's a close game. I'm not trying to get off the court. Like, I get it. Some guys might not care about winning in pickup. Like, I want to win.
Yeah.
You know, it was just second nature to me. And then the next thing I know, it's like the shit is going viral and fucking everybody's like, Kobe's talking about like what he would do. I'm like, oh shit, this is a real conversation. And then I go to I'm at Nobu in Malibu like the next day, and who do I bump in right away? It's like D-Book sitting there. And he's like weird, like, so what's up?
Yeah. Is he looking for the double team? He's like, what the here it comes again. It was a great clip.
He said, awkward.
It'd been funny if him and whoever he came with ended up running over the Devin Booker and double teaming him at the table. Listen, I that's kind of what my take was. I thought like this must have been like the game was on the line. You know what I mean? Like, and the fact that he had 9 of the first 11. Like, yeah, that's I'd have double teamed him too. Like that's. I mean, like if, for instance, have you've played pickup before, and one dude is just going off, and dude after dude is trying to guard him, and they can't. And so you're like, bro, I'm not trying to lose this game. And so if I see it in the corner and dude's about to make a move, I'm going to go run over there because dude can't guard him. Like, yeah, somebody's going to do that. And it's like Joakim said, it was instinctual. It wasn't purposeful. It's not like they planned it out and they were like, hey, 2/, let's go. You know, like they didn't call a fucking play. They just did it. And so for that reason, I'm cool with it.
If a guy is running over because he doesn't have confidence in his teammate to guard the guy who's going off, okay, I could see that. I just felt the whole conversation, the way it blew up, always blew my mind because I did not think it was that big of an issue. I personally have never seen a double team in pickup, and I don't think that like you can call Joakim Noah try hard or whatever you want, but he likes winning. That's cool. You can say Devin Booker doesn't care about winning because he's trying to work on his game and reacted the way he did to double teams, but like he is trying to work on his game. And I'm sorry, I just don't see doubles in pickup. So that's cool too. I never understood why it was such a big deal either way.
Flex has got it right. He said, I'm definitely double teaming him. I'm not sitting in the gym for 2 hours. Fuck that. Yeah. That's true. Okay. You lose, you got to sit. No.
Question. Do you guys recall Joakim taking more heat for this or Book taking more heat?
Because I took more heat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, I know that he was like, yeah, people started talking about it like Kobe this or wouldn't have done that or whatever. I was like, but I don't recall him really taking that much heat for it. If anything, it was Book who took the load of it.
I think he learned from that, though. I mean, look, it was a comment in an open run. I get that he was working on his game, but now I think Devin Booker in this current day and age would be like, screw it. I dropped 9 out of 11 already on you. I'm going to end the game no matter how many guys you throw at me. And I think that's just a learning process. I'm sure he was even embarrassed that went out there like that. Like, and whatever, man. The fact that they're still talking to Joakim Noah about this is ridiculous. Like that you're asking him, this guy played how many years in the league, was great at Florida, and the question you go to is, hey, so that double team thing with Devin Booker in a summer, what about that? Like it just seems like, why are we still talking about this, right?
Because it gets brought up all the time.
Stupid. The whole thing's
infamous
stupid.
at this point.
I mean, if we had Joakim Noah on our show, that would probably be the number one question.
Yeah. But we're a Suns podcast, so
but
I
also,
don't get.
But I feel like people would still like, what are you going to talk to Joakim Noah about at this point in his career?
Losing with the Bulls, losing with the Knicks.
But I also feel like again, if you're not in the gym in that moment and seeing what is happening, see, we didn't have the context of Book dropping 9 straight points and like 2 more, and you gotta get off the court. So Joakim's like, yo, I'm not trying to lose this game. Like,
Yeah.
I totally get it. And I also understand Book's perspective where he is trying to work on his game. He wants to be able to work on certain things. Cool. But you shouldn't have torched us for 9 straight. Now we got to fucking take matters into our own hands now, man. Like, that's just how it is out there on the court.
Just be worse, man.
I mean, it does make me feel a little bad for him. Like, if you're on the receiving end of getting your ass whooped by Book
He's
9
used
straight
to it,
points,
though.
like, bro, I'm sorry, Book, but I'm double teaming
players
you.
of all time. Why are you determined to burn the whole shit down today?
so much hate at
Oh
Noah.
my God.
He's just like he's in a spicy mood.
You ever just like watch sometimes like one of us kind of like we're just like maybe a little emotional or a little erratic, and you're like, man, I hope they don't say something stupid that's going to get us canceled. That's how I feel right now about Espo.
Hold on. Me saying Joakim Noah played for some teams that lost, in particular when he's in New York, is going to get us canceled.
You're just on
got a lot further in the
one of a
playoffs than
couple
we did back
steps.
then.
I agree. By the way, Brian, no, the Raptors mascot has not commented on anything, but maybe we can get him on the show. All right.
Anybody get the joke? Did you guys get the joke?
I got the joke.
Yes, Gerald and Emma. I love you
Evolution
guys.
jokes. Yay!
Yay, Espo's on board. Hooray.
Saul is not.
Saul is not.
He's firmly entrenched in no
Our friend
territory.
Laking Ball sent us a super chat. Thank you so much, Laking. Appreciate you. Said the Celtics in crunch time, their offense staggers. So having Porzingis to get the ball inside with a mismatch, but it's all about Tatum. Hashtag bleed green. Listen, this is the way to be a fan of another team and still come in to the chat here on a Suns podcast.
Laking's a real one.
Laking, you are top notch.
He's always been a real one. He's in everybody
Always.
else's chats. He's
Mhm.
always like he's a diehard basketball fan. And
Yes.
that's what I love him about him.
And you bleed green, but you are still super cool to be around.
Yeah.
And you're super cool to have in the chat. So thank you, Laking, for your super chat and for being here. We appreciate you. You guys got a pick of the week for us today on the DraftKings Sportsbook app? What you guys putting some money down on?
Oh, the Hawkinson, the I'm blanking on his name right now.
TJ Hawkinson.
Thank you.
From the Minnesota
Vikings
Vikings tight end.
I believe he's over under 4.5 receptions in their game this weekend. Hit the over, hit it hard. This guy has been catching balls like crazy. Made me 180 ducats last week catching the first touchdown in that game. So take that to the bank.
You could also, hey, listen, I'm going to be a little optimistic for both Arizona teams. I think ASU is going to cover the spread. They are going to lose because they're playing USC, but they're going to cover the spread. And U of A is going to win, but and they'll also cover the spread.
All right,
So,
there you go.
there you
Those
go.
are 2 picks of the week for the DraftKings Sportsbook app for you guys.
The ASU spread's got to be like 40, right?
No,
They're
I
playing
think it's
USC.
like 20 something.
DraftKings also has a really cool special for you guys right now. If you bet $5 on baseball, you can score $150 instantly in bonus bets. So what are you waiting for? Make sure you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use that promo code PHNX. New customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on baseball. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with that code PHNX. The crown is yours. Here we go, guys. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccp.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort KS, licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles, LA. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. See dkng.co/baseball for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Okay, there we go.
It's like a 7 out of 10.
Nah,
Can one
that's
of you
that
do
was a
it next
6.
time?
Sure.
Can one of you do it next
We could make it
time?
a competition if you
Because
want.
I feel like it's just like progressively getting worse and worse from the first time I did it. So if that's a 6, then next time's going to be like a 3.
Welcome to my nightmare, Lynn.
I mean, that's
Also,
a struggle
Saul,
bus.
the spread's at 34.5.
Oh,
You
wow.
think ASU's going to cover 34.5?
No, they would have to win by, or they'd have to lose by less than 34.
So 33
yeah.
is doable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think they're going to lose by more than 30.
God, if they do.
I'm just saying.
I don't know,
that sounds ridiculous to say out loud, but I don't think
It is-
that will happen.
It is Caleb Williams, and this is a team that just lost 29-0 to UTEP.
Yeah, but
so,
USC's defense is utter trash,
I mean, that's fair.
like hot garbage
Excuse me, it was Fresno
with
State,
a capital
yeah.
G.
Yeah.
If you
Pretty
want
bad.
more PHNX, go to gophnx.com. There are written articles over there, and you can sign up to become a diehard. And by becoming a diehard, not only do you get access to exclusive content and the exclusive diehard only Discord, but you also get a shirt of your choice upon signing up. You get discounts. You get all kinds of goodies. What are you shaking your head at me for?
You missed out on the biggest thing that happened today in the Discord.
What?
We got a whole Discord of gorillas.
Why do you
Oh,
shake
that's
your
right.
head at me like I'm saying something wrong each time? I ask, can we just
Turn
unpack this trauma that you
It's
put on me every
disappointment.
time I do an ad
Because I
read?
love to fuck
And you
with
just
you.
shake your head like you said
I get
something
it.
wrong. That's not correct. Like, why are you the way that you are, Saul Bookman?
Because I know you're thinking of it as you keep talking, and you're like, "What did I screw up? What did I screw up? What's going on? What do you have to say?"
Such a brat.
It's my way of interrupting you without having to verbally interrupt you.
That's even worse. That's like psychological mind games. I don't appreciate.
Come
this
be
level
part of the
horror.
come be part of the gorillas in the Discord. They named it today,
They did.
and
Oh
I am
my
all for it.
gosh.
We're gonna make some fucking merch out of that.
It's
That would
going to
be
be
cool.
fun.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
So go PHNX.com for all the information. Become a diehard today.
Oh,
Don't even start, Espo.
and we have the revised newsletters now. So my first
Yeah.
Suns one in the new format's going out later this
Heyo.
evening. So
You can find
Keep an
the
eye
link
out for
on
that.
our Twitter and sign up to get Gerald's quality work.
right to your inbox.
All right.
I
We also-
wrote once last week, so
He
That's
did.
we
right,
got
you
another
sure
6
did.
months.
We also have a super chat.
We do. We have a super chat from Leo said, answer might be no, but I still got to ask. Shams tweeted that Buddy and the Pacers are working on a trade. Do the Suns have a chance? LOL.
Not unless they don't, because all, 4 of their guys are on contracts that are like 30 million or more, and then the rest are all at like 1 million. They're all veteran minimum deals for the most part. So
Let's get
Making
crazy.
that money work.
14 deal. Let's figure out.
yeah,
a way.
unless it's a multi-team trade, and it just wouldn't make sense. at this
Trade
point.
machine Tuesday.
Oh, no.
So, unfortunately, sorry to shut that down, but
Yes.
Doesn't
Shut
make
it down,
sense.
Gerald.
Shut it down
Shut
till
it
Tuesday.
down,
Shut it down.
Gerald.
Shut it down till Tuesday.
shut it down.
Where we reinvigorate life to Trade Machine Tuesday.
Oh, no.
I just
I don't
feel
know why
like
I did this.
I feel
Yes.
These magic fingers are gonna bring back Trade Machine Tuesday.
like my cough just seems to be getting worse
Oh,
and worse and
gosh.
worse.
What the
I
fuck?
just really hope that I don't get sick
my
next week
God.
on Tuesday on accident.
You're the worst.
Am I?
Yes.
Am I?
Yes.
Of all of us here, am
Yes.
I
Well,
the
no,
worst? Anyway,
In
we
your
do
own
have
special way.
we do have a fun game that producer Emma put together for us to round out today's show. We are going to be building a Suns team with $15. So we've got to build our own dream team, and we got $15 to spend. And for everyone listening on audio, here are the choices we have. In the $5 range, we've got Charles Barkley, Steve Nash, Devin Booker, Sean Marion, and Kevin Durant. Should I read all of them and then
Yeah.
we share, or should we go
Read
through
all
the
of them.
list?
Read all of
Okay,
them.
fine. In the $4 selection, we got Amari Stoudemire, Kevin Johnson, Walter Davis, Chris Paul, and Jason Kidd. For $3, we've got Connie Hawkins, Dan Marley, Paul Westphal, Tom Chambers, Alvin Adams. $2 will get you Grant Hill, Jeff Hornacek, Mikal Bridges, Stephon Marbury, Larry Nance. And for $1, you can get your hands on Rex Chapman, Eddie Johnson, DeAndre, and Jason Richardson, and Penny Hardaway.
I hate you all for taking Frank Kaminsky out of the $1 category.
He
How
trolled us with that.
Yeah,
Are
it's
you
graphic
guys
this
building
morning.
your teams?
Listen, I think it goes without saying that this is going to be an easy win for Team Bookman.
Okay.
I'm going $10 right off the bat. I'm taking Steve Nash and Devin Booker right there.
Okay.
Okay.
Because, by the way, this is only in their son's uniform. Like this,
Yes.
this team is only how they've performed in their son's uniform. So KD as a son, not KD entire career
Or Shaq, for that
or
matter.
Shaq. Yeah,
Mhm. Well,
because
Shaq's not
otherwise
even
we
on
should
the
have had
board.
Bradley Beal on here instead of Rex Chapman,
Yeah.
right?
Fine, whatever. I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
So those are the two. I can't see the sheet. All right. So I'm taking those two, and then I'm taking. Let's just go with Mikal Bridges. I'm taking Eddie Johnson, and I'm taking DA.
Okay.
So you got $1 to spare
No, that's. Oh yeah.
because you had 10. Yeah,
Mikal 10
Yeah.
with
10,
Mikal
12,
Bridges
14.
12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
$14.
Eddie Johnson and DA.
I save some money.
All
Look
right.
at that.
All
Okay.
right.
Charles, the reason that Bradley Beal didn't make the cut is because he hasn't played a game yet
Yes.
in a Suns uniform. So you can't count what he's done as a Sun because he's done nothing as a Sun. So.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go. I know we're saying it's only in the Suns uniform, but I have big aspirations for this guy this year, so I don't care. I'm taking Book and KD off the top, and then I'm gonna take Mikal Bridges and Grant Hill, and then DA. Nobody's scoring on this team. Book's running the point. We're gonna score a lot of points, hit a lot of threes, and defend a lot of positions. I like that group.
Well, in my scenario, Mikal Bridges is averaging 40 because Steve Nash is going to find him.
So mine, kind
Those
of
will
a
be some fun
combination
cuts.
of what both of you did. I went Marion and Booker for $10,
Mhm.
Mikal for 2, Grant Hill and Penny Hardaway
Okay.
for 1 apiece. I think that lineup in today's game, running switchable and length, you're gonna have a pretty impressive run there.
And this is where as a Sun comes to play a factor. Because if you took Penny Hardaway, prime Penny Hardaway, hell yeah, that's a steal.
For $1, hell yeah.
He should be on the $5 line. But Penny Hardaway, it was not the same player when he was here. So
Yeah.
Nobody
have
was
him for
still
$1.
capable. So at $1 and putting him at your point there,
limping up and down
you
the court.
I think you could make it work there. And then the
time he
defensive length and scoring you got elsewhere, I think it works.
For Penny.
Yeah, so I didn't realize this was just as a Sun, but I'll still stick with it anyway. I took Devin Booker and Kevin Durant from the $5 selection, Mikal Bridges for $2, DA and Penny Hardaway for $1 each. And that's
Okay.
my squad. Who's got Flex's squad? Because Flex is not on the show today, obviously, if you hadn't noticed. But he did want to participate.
Mm-hmm.
He must. Where did he put this? Flex. Come
Flex,
on,
where
man.
did you send us your
He
page?
he put it in Narnia.
In Narnia.
I think he put it in Discord. So I'm going to go to the Discord here.
Yeah.
I'm a silly goose. I have it.
Emma.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Emma.
Emma, you silly goose.
I know, right? So he took Penny Hardaway for $1, Devin Booker for $5, Mikal for $2, Charles Barkley for $5, and DA for $1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
All
think
right, that's
think us had some combination of DA, Mikal. Who didn't have DA?
I didn't have to.
You didn't have DA. That's right.
I went smaller. So
Yeah.
I just, I don't know. Part of
Mikal
me,
for
when
$2 is a steal.
the minute
really
that I
is.
saw this, I was like immediately, okay, I'm going to take Devin Booker and KD.
Mm.
And then when I looked at Mikal, and I'm like, could you imagine if we had Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Mikal was still on this team? Like,
can we just stop?
no,
It's too painful.
nope.
All right.
I refuse to let it go. I mean, I'm over it, like in the grand scheme of things, but I'm just saying, like, if you want to play the what if game, it would be fun to play that one. That's all.
2026. We'll see him again.
No.
So, who do you think won? Who do you think wins?
I
Who
don't
picked
know.
the best team?
I mean, we all think we picked the best
You know
team.
what?
So.
I'll say this. I think Flex has a pretty solid squad
Mhm.
in that. But it depends on, all these depend on what style of ball. Are we playing today's style of ball? Or are we playing, if you're playing the 90s, it's a totally,
Depends on what
different,
era you're in, because
yeah.
in the 90s era, like Flex's team would be good. In this era, not enough shooting.
and in the 90s, my team would get their brains freaking beaten in. But in today's
Right.
game, a smaller lineup can work in
Yeah.
a lot of ways.
Yeah, in the 90s, half these dudes are taking elbows to the head and they're not coming back.
Damn.
Flex in the chat said that the key with my team is I did it with $14. So all yours was 14 too, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Pay attention, Flex.
I think we might.
so you guys get eliminated immediately because you didn't participate correctly. You have $15 to
Now
spend.
she wants to play by the rules.
You have,
You
yeah.
have
Are you kidding me?
$15. Spend $15 to build your
First of all,
Suns
time
super
out
team.
there, Saucy
Follow the
McSaucerson.
rules.
Okay, we're not going to do this where we pick one chicken nugget and 5 sauces. All right, and then talk to me about the fucking rules here. Okay, no, you have up to $15. I spent 14.
You didn't say
I was
up
fucking
to
frugal.
15. Emma, put that graphic back up. Nowhere on this graphic did it say up to 15. It said build your own $15 dream team.
Nowhere on
Y'all
this graphic did
didn't
it say
follow
you
the
couldn't.
rules.
Lindsay's like, I spent $1 on 15 players. Like it's all just $1, 15 players. There's my $15.
Listen, it's very rare that I could use the rule argument against any of you guys.
You can never use the rule argument because you always try to
Never.
find a loophole in every
I had to take
single
advantage
system.
of it when I was given
Remember
the
that time
opportunity.
we drafted chicken nuggets and she listed
Five
every
sauces.
single
Do
McDonald's?
you remember do you remember the
superheroes?
time when I told you I haven't had chicken nuggets from anywhere not named McDonald's in like over a decade, so I don't know, but you made me participate anyway?
Let's blame that. You also, we're having a superhero draft. Give me all the villains.
Thanos and
come
Killmonger.
on. You don't play by the rules.
Thanos was right.
He was.
No.
He was. He was.
But
And with that, we'll say goodbye. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you as always. This Wednesday, I know I had to let it pause and breathe for a second. This Wednesday was a super fun one. So we're glad you guys were here with us live to hang out together. We will be back tomorrow. We'll see you guys at 3 p.m. again. Like normal, so plan to come hang out with us then. Until then, you can give the show a follow on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. And of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
after today, I got nothing. Oi, oi.
Hey yo, my lifestyle is retro. Tell the Phoenix Metro. Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX though, Lindsay, Gerald, Espo. Saw past the ball, we here to turn up the tempo. Got to understand.